Hey guys, this is EJ Holland with the Wolverine.com, and we're back with another Michigan recruiting report. We're going to talk about 5 key recruits the Michigan staff saw on the recruiting trail this week. Before we do, I want to invite you guys to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel for free. Don't miss any updates. Get notifications every time we drop new videos by liking this video and subscribing to our YouTube channel for free. And also, a lot going on around Michigan right now with Jim Harbaugh heading off to the NFL, potential Sharon Moore hire, and everything recruiting. Head over to thewolverine.com for more intel and sign up for just $1 for 1 month. Like I said, guys, we're going to be breaking down 5 key recruits Michigan saw on the road. So despite Harbaugh heading off to the NFL, the assistants have been working hard on the trail, and that includes co-defensive coordinator Steve Klingscale, who has been making some waves in enemy territory. He was in Ohio this week and saw on 300 running back Marquise Davis. Davis is arguably the top running back on the board for next cycle. You see, he's listed as an athlete. He is a very special athlete, a guy that can play linebacker or safety at the next level, but I personally love him as a running back. He rushed for more than 2,000 yards this past season. He was named the Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Ohio, actually beating out Michigan running back signee Jordan Marshall. I think Davis has the potential to be even better than Marshall at the next level. He's fast, he's explosive, he's athletic. There's just so much you can do with a guy like him. I think he's easily going to break into the top 100 at some point this offseason. Ohio State has the lead on the On3 recruiting prediction machine, which is no surprise since Ohio State does really well keeping guys in state. But you saw Michigan and specifically Klink head into Ohio and really make a dent. And, landing Marshall, I think, was the first big step, a real head-to-head win over Ohio State. I think Michigan can do it again. And on top of that, you look at Ohio State and they're already trending for 2 other running backs. If if they fill up early, the door is wide open for the Wolverines to land Marquise Davis. And again, he would be a hell of a haul and, just a dynamo at the running back position that also has flexibility. All right, next on the list is top 100 wide receiver Andrew Marsh out of the Houston area in the great state of Texas. Michigan wide receivers coach Ron Bellamy was out there in my former home state and had a chance to meet with Marsh, who has been to Michigan a couple of times already. You see the high ranking here, the number 4 wide receiver and the number 19 overall prospect in the country. And you automatically think, what kind of chance does Michigan have? The Wolverines haven't been able to lure premier wide receivers. It's not necessarily a pass happy offense. And of course, Michigan needs to improve or at least set a plan for NIL on the recruiting trail. But the fact that Marsh has already been to campus a couple of times, I think speaks volumes about his interest level in Michigan. He has this really strong relationship with Ron Bellamy. Remember, Bellamy is from Louisiana, which is obviously a bordering state of Texas. He's able to relate to Marsh on a personal level. I think that Marsh has really enjoyed his conversations with Bellamy. He was impressed with what Michigan did on the field overall this year. And, if Sharon Moore happens to be elevated to head coach, that's another guy that Marsh is already extremely familiar with. So, yeah, it's going to be tough to beat out the Southern schools like LSU and Texas and Oklahoma, and USC's made a big impression on Marsh as well. But I do think that Michigan is a contender in this recruitment, and Ron Bellamy is at least keeping the Wolverines right in the thick of things. All right, next on the list is 5-star offensive lineman David Sanders out of Charlotte, Providence Day. Sanders is ranked as the number 1 offensive tackle and number 2 overall recruit in the country. Now, Providence Day obviously sounds familiar to a lot of you guys because it is the same high school that produced Michigan signees Channing Goodwin and Jaden Davis. On top of that, Providence Day School's offensive line coach is actually Jonathan Goodwin, a former Wolverine and father of Channing. So Sanders definitely has some ties to Michigan. He made his first visit in the summer for the barbecue at the Big House. Michigan has always been hanging around in his recruitment, and Sharon Moore's always made him a priority as well. Something interesting here is, again, we talk about Moore potentially being elevated as the head coach. Moore was the first coach to ever offer Sanders. So Michigan was the first offer for Sanders. And I think, that definitely means something. And Moore was out to see Sanders in Charlotte this week. So yeah, I think Michigan can keep hanging around in this one, but it will be an uphill battle. I think the Southern schools are, in a better position right now. You see the On3 recruiting prediction machine list Georgia, Clemson, and Alabama as the front runners, and I would agree with that. So more work to be done by Moore, but he does at least have Sanders' interests early on. Next on the list is top 100 linebacker Kamar Archie out of Princeton Hun School in New Jersey. Kamar is teammate of Owen Wafel, who signed with Michigan this cycle. He's a guy that hasn't made a lot of visits. You see, Rutgers is the leader on the On3 recruiting prediction machine. He just hasn't been to places. Archie is taking a really laid back approach with his recruitment. On top of that, he wasn't really able to go anywhere this fall because all of his games were on Saturdays. So he, I think, is going to really take a deep dive into his recruitment this spring and will really sort out the contenders there. But Michigan has a true chance with Archie's about 6'1", 220s, tailor-made for the junior Colson role in Michigan's defensive scheme. He's great sideline to sideline, comfortable dropping back in pass coverage, just an absolute freak as far as the way he's built. I mean, he looks like a bodybuilder type. He's super cut up, kind of in the same mold as Junior Colson. And when I saw him in the fall, he actually played running back and scored 3 touchdowns. He was the most impressive defensive player I saw all year. I think that Michigan has a true chance to make a move here. He will be making his first visit soon. I think the connection to Wafel helped. And Grant Newsome's done a fantastic job of building that relationship with Archie. Newsome made a big East Coast swing this week and made it a point to go see Archie. You have to keep in mind, Michigan doesn't have a linebackers coach right now. It's unclear whether or not Jesse Minter is going to stay at Michigan. So it's imperative for Newsome to be that go-to guy to keep Archie interested in Michigan. And so far, so good. Again, I expect Archie to make his first visit soon. And then last on the list is top 100 cornerback Trey McNut out of Ohio. So we talked about Clink making a dent in enemy territory earlier. And McNut is another prospect that he is really on, making a top priority at the cornerback position. You see McNut is ranked as the number 34 overall prospect nationally. He is an Ohio State legacy. Ohio State has the lead on the On3 recruiting prediction machine, but he's been very open with his recruitment. He's made it a point to tell us and, On3 in general that he isn't going to just go to Ohio State because he's a legacy. He really wants to see what else is out there. He's been to Michigan in the past. He has a great relationship with Steve Klinkskill. And look, Ohio State has really loaded up at the corner position recently. Michigan offers an opportunity for him to come in and potentially play right away. I think McNut is the type of prospect that could compete for significant time as a true freshman, and that definitely has to be appealing to him. So those are the 5 recruits that Michigan saw on the recruiting trail this week that, really caught our attention. But the staff saw plenty of others in the 2025 and 2026 recruiting classes. So for all that information, head over to thewolverine.com for $1 for 1 month. And also like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel for free.